Welcome back to E-Learning with Trowbridge. I'm Mr. Trowbridge, and today we're going to be looking at op art. Now, op art is short for optical art. And about 50 years ago, in the 1960s, a lot of artists were doing a lot of abstract artwork. And so abstract art is a style of art where one viewer can look at an abstract painting and see one thing, and another viewer can look at it and see another thing. So it's open to interpretation. And so these artists came along in the 1960s and they wanted to push that definition of art. What is art? What is not art? And that's how optical art was born. And so optical artists will use different illusions to trick the viewers into either thinking that things are going in or things are coming out or things are built one way when they're really built another. And so I'm going to use some contour lines, some value, and I'm going to show you how to trick people into looking at your art differently. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do to start this project is make kind of a horizon line. It's going to be a little curved. And this project is going to be all about contour lines. I'm going to make this like ribbon, weird, organic, flowing optical illusion art. And what I'm doing is I picked 2 points, like one right here, and I'm just going and making these little hills. Now right now I'm using a Sharpie. If you want to, you can use a pencil. And these shapes can get bigger or smaller, whichever you want. Now you might want to watch all of this and then go back and then try it with me, kind of watch and see how I do it. Now I'm going to do another one right here. It's the same concept. And what's happening is these contour lines make it look like this shape is going in. It'll look like this weird texture thing, like maybe like a bunch of earthworms or like partying together or something. Alright, I'm going to speed it up right now so you can see what this looks like when I'm done. Now you probably noticed that there's a couple little blank spots. What you can do is if this happens and you have these little openings, you can make another little one coming from the other side. So I just pretend like the dot is there, and I'm just drawing these lines back and forth to all these dots. So it's like another earthworm kind of going in. Now right away, even before I've colored this, I think it already looks really impressive. These contour lines kind of make it look like these 3D shapes are like going in, like a bunch of canyons maybe. And once I add some value to it and make it look like there's shadows, and then when they actually go in, it looks like it's going in, it's going to look like really impressive. Alright. Now I am ready for some color. And I would suggest using something that can have different values. So like a colored pencil or maybe a crayon. Anything that can allow you to get dark or light. Paint would work too. I think colored pencils are probably the easiest, or crayon. And here, what I'm going to do is I want it to look like where this is going in, where it looks like it's going in, it's going to be darker. And then as it comes to the middle, it gets lighter. So I'm using this like a violet color, and it gets lighter and lighter and lighter. And then I want the same thing on the other side. So right here, where it meets, it goes from dark to light. And this will give you great practice with trying to get your hand to move where your brain tells it to. And for like this whole row right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to alternate between, like, let's say purple and let's do pink. So the next one, I'm going to color it the exact same way. Dark pink in this little corner, and then as it goes out, it gets lighter and lighter. And then over here, do the same thing. Dark, and it comes out, it gets lighter. And as it gets lighter, it's going to look like the light is hitting the top of this and creating a highlight, and then you have these shadows in the back. And then I'm going to go back to my violet. This is what is known as like an A-B pattern, where it goes A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. So this whole thing is going to be just pink and purple. Now I'm going to do a little time lapse so you don't have to sit here and watch me do this. Well, I don't know about you, but my hand is throbbing. I hope you enjoyed this e-learning with Mr. Trowbridge. I hope you also Google op art and see what other artists have come up with. One of the most famous op artists is MC Escher. He has some really interesting op art and tessellations, and so I encourage you to keep exploring art. See you next time.